episode of the Crypto Dough Channel. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Dough Channel. Now today is Friday morning at 7:38 a.m. As you guys know, I'm uploading just a quick update. Not really a quick update. We're gonna cook with this one, right? We're gonna cook with this update because we're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about Elon Musk, right? We're simply talking about Elon Musk and Trump. Elon Musk and Trump. I titled this one um, When the Family Feuds, right? This one is When the Family Feuds. So if you guys don't know what's going on with Elon is basically stating that, hey, Trump, you said this, you said that, you wanted me to be in charge of the Doge community. And Doge did their job. They try to cut as much money as they can in a short period of time. I personally think that it takes more than just 4 years to undo something that has been done for hundreds of years or 100 years. It's going to take a little bit more than 4 years, right? But I have to give Elon his standing ovation because he's the only person that I know in the United States that actually tried to fix the budget fix the deficit by creating a budget. It was simple, but he was the only person that tried to do it. I think a lot of people talk about doing it, but no one have actually attempt and set up a system to actually do it, but Elon. So you got to give him his round of applause. Give Elon his round of applause. Now Trump came in, of course, he came in at the right time because liberals was running wild. All these your kids can make a decision about their gender without their parents' information and all of that. That got a little bit too horrendous to me. Too wild, right? We have to get things back in order. So Trump did his thing too. Together, they can go further than Wells Fargo. Together, they are a force to be reckoned with. Trump, once he do one tweet, he could, and listen to where I say tweet, or one post, right? He could send the market either up or down. Put a one in the chat if you agree. Elon has the same capability, right? Elon has the same capability. If he does one tweet or one post, he could send the market going up or down. So both of them, as far as internet influences, 10 out of 10. Both. Do you guys agree? Put a one in the chat if you agree. Put a two in the chat if you disagree. But now, when Elon is speaking from emotions, and we all know, hey, he's like this beautiful bill, it should be called the beast, right? Drop the beauty, just simply call it the beast bill. Because what it's doing is you're printing more money, right? Which is going to make the deficit even more. Trump will print more money than any other president. But the way I see it is he has no choice because every other president, the president after Trump is going to print more money than the president. This is how the deficit goes. So we can't just say Trump is printing a lot of money, right? He has no choice. I tell people this, right? Study economics. If you really want to solve for the problem, because I'm a problem solver, right? But a lot of people don't want the problem solved. They rather talk about it, have the drama that comes with it, or have the gossip. In order for you to solve the American debt crisis, you have to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Let me repeat. Everyone that's, to me, a president in the United States, they have so much power. But the power that they have is actually been puppeteered by the bankers and or the Federal Reserve. Hence, this is why the Rockefeller said, give me control of the money and I care who not make the laws, right? That's why everyone's chasing money. That's a fact. Put a one in the chat if you agree. So then I began to think. I said, okay, They said they was going to go see if the gold was in the Federal Reserve. Have you guys ever heard an update about that? Hmm. No one have heard that update. I've been waiting on them to actually go into the Federal Reserve. They can't. They won't. The bankers are the one that's actually running around, right? Hence, that's why we all work for money. So when I say this to say Elon probably have finally figured out that, hey, there's nothing I can really do about fixing the system because the system and its puppeteers don't want me to fix it. Now, that can hit heavy to the heart. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, put a 2 in the chat if you disagree. That can hit heavy. And I understand from Elon's perspective. It's coming from a very emotional perspective, but that's what makes Elon so great. Look at all the company that he's running. That's absolutely wonderful. He cares about the companies. And I have to give Elon another standing ovation because he cares about the country. Because he cares, and he's saying, hey, this is like the Titanic, right? All businesses, all companies, moms, pops, whoever, we all on this ship. And if the ship sinks, which is based on the deficit, if it sinks, guess what? It don't matter what you got going on. Everyone's going down. I agree. Do you guys agree? I agree with what Elon is saying. That totally makes sense to me. He's no economist, but yes, he has successful business that he can speak about. He builds systems, so he understands the system that we're in. He understands a couple of solutions and parameters that you can put in place in order to get us there. You have to give him credit. Now, him tweeting, emotionally tweeting, that's why sometimes you shouldn't put everything on the internet, especially what you're going through in relationships. And that relationship could be business relationships and or personal. Because once the world see it, they're going to eat it up. You have people that all they do is sit on the phones, right, and wait for somebody to go on to feed into the negativity. In the real world, they don't even have a voice. They don't even have an account. They don't even own crypto. They don't even do anything. I have people come in the chat sometimes. I'm like, I guess when you're doing something right, something has to come in that's so belligerent that it makes me know that I'm doing something right. I'm right on my path. Because if it's no pushback, then it may not be the path for you. You got to get some pushback when you're doing the right thing. It's the equal or opposite force. You have positivity and you have negativity. Hey, I welcome both because I understand you can't have one without the other. You'd be a fool to think that you won't encounter negativity in your life. It's what you do with that encounterment that actually matters. Right? How you react to things based on how you respond to things is really what counts in this world. I figured that out. So when I see Elon tweets and say Trump is part of the Epstein's list, hey, maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he's hitting below the belt. Who's to say? I believe that a lot of rich people are part of the BS. That's just what I personally believe. Because if they wanted it to come out, why haven't it coming out yet or came out yet? Right? They push for all these things before they get into office, talking about Trump, hint. And I'm for Trump. I voted for Trump. So but I have to hold people accountable. I don't care who you are. So why haven't you done the things that you promised and say that you was going to do? It's because it's a force, an equal opposite force that's telling you what you can and cannot do. See, people think that the president has the ultimate power in the world. And yes, they're very much so powerful. Yes. Yes, that's true. But in the same notion, yet they are very much so powerful, they also have to follow rules and regulations. And the regulations is coming maybe from the hierarchy, let's just say the kings and queens of England. But also the regulations is also coming from the Federal Reserve, the banksters, and some people like to, the banks, or some people like to call them the banksters, LOL, the real gangsters. So Now they begin to feud. The family feuds, you know, when the family feuds, how does this affect crypto? Because that's what it's all about. I just had to give you guys the backstory, right? How does this affect crypto? Well, this affects crypto and the stock market in a negative manner. But this is what I believe Elon will do. Elon is fed up. He's solution based. He can't get over the fact that he cannot fix this problem. It may be driving him crazy, insane. I get it. Because when you are passionate about something, emotionally involved, you can get that way. Right? Right? We all have gotten that way before. Right? You're only human. So I said, what Elon is going to do next, since he knows Bitcoin is outside of the system and the Federal Reserve don't control that, but they want to have some type of strategic reserve in order to try to control it. So if the Federal Reserve doesn't control, right? If they don't control that, then guess what? Which is Bitcoin, of course, and decentralized assets. I have Elon Musk creating his own strategic reserve. Because he's going to say, well, hell, the only thing that can save the United States government or the people or me or my family is now Bitcoin. So he's going to be more heavy on Bitcoin than ever before. And he will probably be the number 2 or 1 person. Michael Saylor might have something to watch out for now. Because when Elon get on board with this one, oh my God. This is why I tell you guys, at least on 10, Bitcoin got to go up to 200,000 now. 175 to 200. Because if Elon stop buying, the United States government stop buying. Michael Saylor can't stop buying. Mara can't stop buying. They're mining. It makes me think it's only 5% left. I said, holy. If it's only 5% left, and these people are gonna rush to buy it now, and they cash cows. They print money daily. Elon is the richest person in the world. If he begins to buy, my God. I'm saying it all to say, you should have some Bitcoin. Not financial advice. But I see that that's the only solution, right? I see that that is the only solution that will solve for the problem that we have. Now, unfortunately, Trump and Elon is feuding, and I think the market can dip low. I've been calling for the market to go through 100,000, and sure enough, it went through 100,000, $800 and something dollars. Great pullback. I even bought a little bit more at that point because I understand it can bounce up, and I did a quick trade, gained about 15-20%, shaved that off the top. If you get 5% in this crypto game market, you're a genius. Keep stacking your 5%. Keep stacking your 5%. When I see a dip like this, I say yes, yes, yes. I've been waiting on it. Thank you. I put in my money and I drag out. So this is what I have to say, right? Can Bitcoin go down a bit more? Oh yes, it can. And this is why I say that it can. Because if they begin to continue to keep feuding, because Trump ain't backing down, Elon is not backing down, they're going to begin another feud. But I also think this is true. And this can be true. I may be reaching there or maybe conspiracy there, but let's dive into it. What if this was orchestrated? And the greatest thing is, the people always want to see people fall apart. Am I correct? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that that's true. The drama sells more than positivity. Is that true? It can be. So what I see is this. What if this orchestrated to actually bring the market down so more people can buy? Right? Because to me, if Elon and Trump go at it, They're stabbing each other in the front and the back. They rely on each other too much. Elon rely on the government for government contracts. Trump rely on Elon for a lot of different things, for his craftiness, for his space satellite industry, for all sorts of things. So to me, it wouldn't make sense. It actually would make sense if they call it the truth. They said some things, they weren't happy with this, XYZ, life goes on. But if they continue now, this is a whole nother thing. This will push the market down even further. I was calling for a $93,000 to a $95,000 Bitcoin, and we just might get it. We just might get it. Now, another catalyst that a lot of people aren't talking about is what's up with China. Didn't Trump just meet with China just the other day? Didn't Trump just meet with China just the other day, right? So, we got a truck right here. Let's let that truck blow by real quick. But I know that's going to be quite loud, right? So let's let that blow by. So, the question would be, didn't Trump meet with China? Hold on, let's wait for it to do what it do. Let me walk around the parking lot, because they're going to be a minute. Right? Trash truck. You know, I get out early, so totally get it. So the thing would be this, right? Let's give it a second. Let me interact with the chat. Empty Monster Can said, what is but my income backwards? I don't know what you're talking about, but what's up? Peg Cabo said hello, what's going on? Frago3 said, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? If this is your first time here, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That is all I ask. So let's get back to the story. Elon, boom, Trump. If they continue to feud, right, the market can come down a bit more. I'm calling for a $93,000 to a $95,000 Bitcoin if they continue, right? But a lot of people aren't talking about this. They're not talking about China. What's going on with China? China just came to meet the United States. What's the result? Today is Friday. They're supposed to drop the results. If that catalyst is negative, right, the market's going to tank. That's why I tell people, secure your profit. I took profit from Zebet. I took profit from White Rock. I took profit from the Circle IPO I bought before the IPO came out. And then I just, I'm about to sell when the market opens up at 9 o'clock. I'm going to sell because I think it's overvalued. So I'm going to sell, put some cash on the side. When the market went back down to 100,000 and some change, I bought in and I gained about a cool 10%, not just with Bitcoin, right, but with other assets across the board. I bought some more weekend at 46. It jumped up to 60 something, so another 15% gain. You have to learn how to trade within the market as well, right? So I'm sitting on some cash, basically, waiting on another dip, basically, because I see what's to come, and the dip is to come. So make sure you have some chips. You can't just have dip, salsa around and queso around without the chips. Make sure you have some chips, right? Because it's going to be very uncertain. We don't know how Elon Musk is feeling, how Trump is feeling, how long they plan on going to another showdown. When will they call it the truth? When won't they? Glory TV said, hey, what's going on, Glory TV? If this is your first time here, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for me. That's all I ask. Also, check out my merch store. It's in the description as well. You buy one merch, take a picture of it, at me, you get a crypto guide for free. That's my product that I'm selling, you know, along with other services. I'm gonna start doing a, maybe I do calls, but I was consulting with an entrepreneur. He said, Crypto Do, you got to charge people what you think you're worth, and you're worth a lot. So, your calls have to be 500, 600, $700 a call. And I say that's kind of steep. But they said, well, what's steep? What is your time worth? And I said, well, you're kind of right. So I'm gonna figure out a thing for the calls and the private calls and stuff like that. You gain mass amount of knowledge from this call, and you're gonna make some money. Talking to me, or you're gonna make some money. It's the reason why they call me Crypto Dough, because at the end of the day, you're gonna make you some dough. At the end of the day, that's what we in it for, right? So that's what you're gonna do. That's why I'm just gonna damn near guarantee you to make some damn dough. But we can't guarantee anything because nothing is guaranteed based on the market. But I'm just saying, right? With the information that you have, it's all about the mindset. You're gonna make some dough. So anyway, so let me know what you guys think about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And what do you think is going on? Was this staged to crash the market so the Feds? Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. Was this staged to crash the market so the Feds can come in and say, look, we got to hurry up and cut interest rates? Because that's what Donald Trump wanted anyway. So that can be one way to look at it, right? On the conspiracy side. But are they feuding because Elon is like, you know what? I'm solution based, and this beautiful bill isn't a solution. And I totally feel that. I 100% agree with Elon stating that we need to cut the deficit as much as possible, because in a couple of years, it's not even about us. What about the kids? We're literally taking their future away from them, enslaving them. So and Elon had kids. So I 100% agree with Elon. How he went about it is a whole nother situation. I don't believe in airing dirty laundry online. Epstein, Trump on the Epstein list, and them going back and forth, and they was just in the same house together and stuff like that. And is it about the EV bill and all these other things? So it's like it gets real sloppy. I don't think you should air your personal laundry online, though people want to know what's going on with the Epstein list and why it wasn't released, why they didn't go to the feds. Like I say, the hierarchy wouldn't allow that, because to me, everybody's doing something funny when it comes time to that money, especially when you get at a certain level, right? Especially when you get at a certain level. That's just what I see. But let me know your thoughts below. Let me know what you think the market will go down to. Will Bitcoin stay above 100,000, or will it come crashing back down to about 93? And if so, what are you doing to protect your profit? That's what I would like to know. What are you doing to protect your profits? Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. That's all I ask. I'm Crypto Dough once again. Put on your seatbelts. It's damn near time